Good morning and welcome to Unity Church of Practical Christianity's virtual hour service. We're pleased that you're joining us today. Today we'll be offering a meditation time in addition to our Sunday message, which will come from Reverend Judith Crooks. Throughout the service, special music will be provided by Angela Rapon, our musical director, and Sailor Lynn. At the end of the service, we'll share some other ways that we're staying connected with you, our Unity family, during this time. Our mission at Unity Church is to realize and express our oneness with God. Our vision statement is we are a loving, spiritual community where we teach, share, and express unity in all life. Now together, let's join in affirming our statement of being. Together. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Today's daily word is world peace. I contribute to peace in the world. When I learn of conflict in my community or in the world, my response may be frustration or anger. If I have those feelings, I remember that I am more than merely human. I am a living expression of God, heir to all that God is. I use my divine faculties of wisdom, understanding, and love to create the abiding peace that is my birthright. Centered in divine peace, I realize that every person is as much an expression of God as I am. As differences dissolve in a way that transcends human understanding, I come to know oneness with all the world's people. I let this realization shape my response to every person and every situation. In an awareness of my oneness with all people, my thoughts, words, and actions contribute to peace in the world. And from John chapter 17, verse 22, the glory that you have given me, I have given them, so that they may be one as we are one.
Thank you, Anne. And what a wonderful message for today as we seek to really get in touch with what's happening, open our minds and hearts to all of the conditions in the world. And I'm so happy you're here with us as we turn within, and I invite you to relax. Take a deep breath and breathe in that breath of spirit. Slowly release it and relax your whole body. And take another deep breath and let go of all thoughts, concerns, and just rest in this quiet space. Hear these words of a poem that I learned back when I was a child, that probably have been my greatest gift through times of challenge, change. Take these words in for yourself. God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way through every moment of the day. I now am wise. I now am true, patient, kind, and loving too. All things I am, can do, and be through Christ, the truth that is in me. God is my health. I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing, quick. God is my all. I know no fear, since God and love and truth are here. Can you feel that love that God has for you? The truth of your being right now. God is your health. You can't be sick. God is your strength, unfailing, quick. All things we're seeking are here for us right now as we turn within and let go and let God. And I invite you for a moment as you perhaps bring to mind that area for which you're praying. And then let it go. Let it go. And rest in the silence with those beautiful loving arms of God uplifting, supporting all that we are seeking in the silence. Oh God, we give thanks. We know that with you all things are possible. And we let go and let your beautiful work be done through us today. And we rejoice and give thanks for answered prayer. We give thanks in the name and through the power of Jesus Christ. And so it is done.
Broken down, tired of living life on a merry-go-round. You can find a fighter, but I see it in you. We walk it out and move mountain, bring it to his feet and move mountain. Oh, silence isn't quiet. It feels like it's been hard to breathe.
is so beautiful, Sailor. So very beautiful. And how grateful I am to be able to be here with you again this morning. As we come together to give of our love in the very best way we can, open our minds and hearts to all that is happening. With such challenge in our lives, yes, COVID-19 and the pandemic and economic structure that we're going through, as I was thinking about what I might be able to share with you this morning, I thought, it's time for us to take a look at the way that we're praying, the way that we're reaching out for help. In the past, so many of us thought that we needed to beg and plead, and we're just taking a look and wondering. In fact, on Tuesday evenings, we're sharing a book, Teach Us to Pray, to get in touch with the gifts that God has given us, to really work and pray aright, that we might understand and experience the change that has been seen as we enjoy that. By the way, the books Teach Us to Pray, in fact, all of Charles Fillmore books are available free of charge on Amazon if you wanted to download them. And it is such a joy to be able to share with the class in that way. There's a beautiful writing of Lowell Fillmore, the son of Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, the co-founders of Unity, that is located in the Fillmore Garden at Unity Village. It speaks of the beautiful search that we're going through right now in trying to understand what we can do while we're shut in and feeling so isolated from everyone, wondering what we can do to help our loved ones. And the poem is entitled The Answer. He said, when for a purpose I had prayed and prayed, until my words seemed worn and bare with arduous use, and I have knocked and asked again, and all my fervor and persistence brought no hope. I paused to give my weary brain a rest, and ceased my anxious human cry, and in that still small moment, after self had tried and failed, there came a glorious vision of God's power. And lo, in that moment, my prayer was answered in that hour. Let go and let God. As so many are begging out and crying, pleading for God's mercy, for God's help in this time of challenge. And yet we know that wherever we are, God is. That presence, that power is there. And whatever language we pray in, however we pray, God is there with us. What a gift to know. Because prayer is our most important tool, the most significant experience we can embrace every waking hour of our lives. Faith, believing, living in the presence of God. It's our greatest activity, no matter where we are or what we are. A Zen master was once asked, your serenity in the face of all the pressures in your life. And he replied, I never leave my place of meditation. And he didn't mean that he stayed seated all day long inside his meditation room because he had a monastery to run. He meant that he never left that inner experience of meditation, which he found by turning within, by just keeping focused within. And from that sacred space, he was able to deal with all of the stresses of his life. I chuckle remembering when I was heading up a child care center in Lansing, Michigan, and my teachers would come running in and say, oh, this happened or that happened, or we have an emergency here. And I would sling my seat back in my office, in essence saying, okay, God, what are we going to do next? My teachers always thought I was having a panic attack or something, but I chuckled knowing that God is there, and there is an answer every moment whenever we're seeking. What is prayer? What are we really endeavoring to do when we pray? Prayer is our means of connecting with God inwardly, not a human-looking God who sits up in a throne in heaven as we were taught when we were children at a distance, making a list and checking it twice when we ask. God is a divine reality of ourselves. We are one with that which made us and sustains us all. God isn't some entity at a distance, but a very real energy and presence and power within us, our higher reality. And our purpose is to allow that reality to fully express, yes, the reality of us, that which already is, and yet it's not quite fully expressing. Jesus and all of the great masters became aware of their identity, that divinity, that they were greater than just flesh and blood, and allowed that expression to take place. I remember the stories of Jesus at the time he was baptized, and many of the different experiences that he had in the Bible, leading up to the time when he fully took responsibility and began to fully express that connection. He showed us the way. They chose, and we can choose to consciously connect to that reality of our higher self, the Christ, God within us. And God gave us all of those powers. Charles Fillmore, in his inimitable wisdom, chose to take a look at what God is and does. And he showed that God gave us 12 powers, ways of expressing God within us. Those tools that are here for us to use at any time. He gave us love, that gift of God himself, imagination with which we could imagine and see and create all that we deeply desire to express, and power, that power of the spoken word and the power that we have need of as we move forward more so. Judgment, that power to be able to look at our lives and make a wise decision, a judgment about what was happening. Wisdom is another way to describe it. And understanding, to be able to understand what was happening. It's here with us right now as we're looking at our world, our situation, and wondering. Zeal, the energy, the enthusiasm with which right now when we're isolated, when we're closed in, to be able to look at that next right thing that we might be able to do that will give us an opportunity, give us something that we have need of, something precious. Elimination, the power of elimination, to be able to release right now that which we don't need, the negative thoughts, the fear, all of that that is standing in our way of expressing fully what we're here to do today. Then he also gave us faith, the faith with which to know that all things are possible with God, that we can move through this experience and have faith that it is coming forth for the greater good. I'm going to share a tiny story that I think about with that, of the little child who was standing by the pile of manure and looking all over, trying to, well, everybody wondered what he was looking for. And when asked, he said, well, with all this manure here, there has to be a pony somewhere. And that's what we're looking for today. We're looking for that gift for each one of us, because there is a gift that is going to come out of this seeming tragedy in the moment. That gift is there. Now I got off my, I was into understanding, zeal, enthusiasm, and wisdom to know the difference, to know everything that we have need of knowing, and also the strength with which we can handle any situation that befalls us. Gave us wonderful powers within us, and they're there for us right now, because God is the divine reality of ourselves. And as we begin to ask in prayer, those answers come. Those answers come. The Sanskrit word for prayer is palal, which means judging oneself as wondrously made. And prayer is the means by which we can consciously become aware of our divine connection with this inherent beautiful splendor that is within us, our divine connection. We were told that we were created in the image and likeness of God some time ago. That's pretty great. Are you seeing that for yourself? Believing it? Because it's the truth of you. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, stated clearly, everybody should pray. Through prayer, we develop the highest phase of character. Prayer softens and refines the whole person. Prayer. In the 14th chapter of the Bible, Jesus shared with us, and he told us right now in this moment with what we're going through, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you so. And most assuredly, I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he will do also. And greater works than these he will do, because I go to my Father. And whatever you ask in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. What was your request this morning in your time of prayer? Time in prayer this morning? As I tell the children when I used to work with them in Sunday school, the reason that we pray is to set forth our mind. We're drawing a picture with our crayons, creating what we want our lives to be like, how we want to express what we want to give and what we want to receive in life. And as we pray, we are becoming prepared for all that happens. And we pray first. We open our minds and hearts in our time of prayer so that then as we go through the day, that door is opened. And God is showing us the way. We already have set the foundation. And we wonderfully see the response. Prayer is the language that speaks words of the perfection within us, of the wholeness, the allness of God within and everywhere present around us. And we tune in and listen. We are prepared for anything that could come. We stop and think of the beautiful gift. I want to share a segment of the book that we're studying as we shared this last week on Tuesday. Charles Fillmore said, Christian metaphysicians find that words that express thanks and gratitude and praise release energies of mind and spirit, and their use is usually followed by effects so pronounced that they are quickly identified with the originating words, the originating effect being merged in cause. Let your words be of praise and blessing to spirit, and let the increase, and that increase will be even greater than it is when they are addressed to man. The resources of spirit are beyond our highest flights of imagination. You can praise a weak body into strength, a fearful heart into peace and trust, shattered nerves into poise and power, a failing business into prosperity and success, want and insufficiency into supply and support. Do not beg in your prayers, but praise and give thanks for the new self-manifesting God of abundance, fulfilling every desire of your heart. Look at your life. Look at what's happening right now and where you're at. Give thanks and praise for every little thing, every moment of every day. It brings about the joy that you're seeking, the goodness within, and brings for us all that we could possibly expect. The best news about prayer is that whatever type we choose, God is with us. And in seeking God, we find the God of our understanding. There is no right or wrong. Whatever we can, the child's prayer, Whatever we can do, that prayer is there. If we believe we're unworthy, I'm sorry to say that will become our reality. If we believe in sickness and sin, that it's a sin to be rich, that is what we will experience. But as we begin to praise and give thanks for the goodness in our life, for the healing, for the strength, for all that we are seeking, that is what we will experience. Charles Fillmore said, one who exercises his thought powers discovers that there is a steady growth with proper use. The powers of the mind are developed in much the same way as muscles of the body. Persistent affirmation of a certain desire in the silence concentrates the mental energies and beats down all of the barriers. What great words there. When we direct the power of exalted ideas into our bodies, we exalt the cells, releasing their innate spiritual energy and causing them finally to be purified and lifted to the highest expression, just as Jesus did in the regeneration of his body. Right now, if you're sick, if you're concerned and going through a real challenging time, look at it and say, okay, God, what is my affirmation? How can I work with this situation? It's there for you. What can we do right now this week? Take a few moments each morning and look at your life. Take time to write down what it is that you really desire to accomplish, to see happen for yourselves, for our world, for your loved ones. What is your prayer at this time? And then take a few minutes each morning and then each evening to rejoice and give thanks for the great goodness of the day. And for those of you who want a little bit more than that, our 5 process in unity is a wonderful one. First of all, take time to become still, just as we did in our time of prayer. Relax your mind and your body. Be sure that you're very comfortable. And as you begin to still your mind, speak to it. Peace, be still, and feel it to begin to relax and enter into the process of prayer, speaking powerful affirmations of strength for whatever it is that you desire to see expressed. And as you speak those words, allow your mind to relax and contemplate on God. Focus and let go in that beautiful time. And then relax even more in a time of meditation, rejoicing, giving thanks to God for the joy within, for the goodness, that conscious connection with God. And then as you complete your time of prayer, rejoice and give thanks. Thanksgiving is the most powerful gift. Be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. And in closing, Longfellow shared with us, he said, let us then labor for an inward stillness and inward healing, that perfect silence where the lips and heart are still, and we no longer entertain our own imperfect thoughts and vain opinions, but God alone speaks in us. And we wait in singleness of heart, that we may know his will in the silence of our spirits, and that we may do God's will. That message is there. That plan is there for each one of us. And go in peace and love today. And know that God is with you, and that we are praying with you all the time. Just focus on us, and we will be with you in prayer. God is there. God bless you.
Reverend Crooks, I want to thank you for reminding us of all of the tools that we have available to us right now. And in particular, that notion of being pre-prayered is one I've not heard before, and that is the nugget of spiritual gold that I shall take with me today. Unprecedented times call for unprecedented action, and we are rising to the occasion. We are committed to serving you spiritually, emotionally, and mentally so that we get through these challenging times as one united family. With your continued support, we will press forward with faith through prayer, meditation, and internet action remotely. Please join us each Sunday at 10:45 for the Facebook live stream of our weekly Sunday message. And as an additional way to maintain our spiritual connection with our Unity family, we also invite you to engage in 10 to 15 minutes of meditation daily with one another virtually beginning at 11 a.m. This time corresponds to the daily Unity prayer service at Silent Unity. We will also continue to live stream our own Silent Unity prayer service, and that is with the Reverend Crooks each Wednesday at 11, and we'll use that time as our collective meditation time on Wednesdays. In these many ways, let us stay connected and let us hear from you. You can request prayers through our prayer request portal on our website. And speaking of our website, check out the We're All in This Together post on our events and activities page for resources to maintain connection and ideas for things that you can do while maintaining appropriate social distancing. Donations can be mailed into the church office. You can scroll down to the important announcement post on our Facebook page to find the link to donate, or donations can be made online via our website on the Ways to Support the Church page. Last, many of you have probably already seen the email from our Board of Trustees sharing that Reverend Chris has resigned as Senior Minister of the Church. The email further details how we will assist anyone needing contact to process this news. We will continue to move forward meeting your spiritual needs with the loving and capable talents of our pastors, Reverend Quinton and the Reverends Don and Judith Crooks. We love you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you, and we know that even apart, we are all still one. The light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you.